Well, welcome back, everybody. Hey, listen, it is great to see all of you. Thanks a lot for your support. Thank you for those of you that made the trip to Europe and all throughout Europe to come see me in the big competitions last week. That was so awesome. It was great. The photos with me, my lovely wife, my kids, this time we spent together. You guys were just the absolute best. I cannot thank you enough. So what a special time. And as you guys saw, I tried to make it very worth your time to go ahead and be there as I was giving that real-time analysis and showing while I was in the middle of the trading competition, still going ahead and getting up there in front of those huge audiences. And I actually see one of them right there, Paulo, one of our wonderful students there. And there's my lovely wife, my daughter here. I know my son was kind of hanging out. You can't see him in front of this guy here, but he's a little smaller. But my family right there, front row, watching these big competitions as well. But we really try to teach you in the middle of all the volatility. So just absolutely incredible. We take a look. Basically, what we were faced with, the daily charts were up, the hourly charts were down, and in situations for a lot of traders, there's limited options historically for going ahead and focusing on those kinds of trades. Well, what I did though was I made sure people got to see that. I was geared up for exactly that kind of scenario because a lot of times we see volatility and whipsaws and it can't just all be the short-term and long-term time frames all go in the same direction all the time. So I was prepared for that, focusing on the trading simulations to gear me up. And that's the beauty with WealthCharts, having the trade simulation. I could just run all sorts of scenarios to go ahead and gear me up for the big competitions. And boy, could the timing not have been better for that. So basically, what we were focusing on here was late last week. Like for instance, Thursday and Friday, we had these situations where the daily chart net was up, but the speed lines were coming down. So we were caught in what's called kind of a kill zone there. And the hourly chart was down, as you can see there on Thursday and Friday as well. So just a real what we call mom-dad fighting, kill zone kind of situation. You don't want to normally be anywhere near that unless you have the skills to go ahead and focus on that. So obviously I train for those, and I want to train you guys on some of those skills as well. We'll be talking about that in some upcoming classes that we're going to go ahead and do for you. So in fact, one of the things that you guys can do, if you'd like, you can go ahead and go to wealth365.com /BBT, wealth365.com /BBT, and actually get registered for the upcoming summit that's happening. And I'll be happy to go ahead and we'll be training you there during that special event. That's going to go ahead and be exciting. To say the least. So again, wealth365.com /BBT. Now, also go ahead and do some other classes. There's some classes I haven't done for over 2 years now. I warned you guys back in the day, like, hey, these are very special, very rare classes. We'll do some classes for you on that as well. Because what you're seeing right now is just the tip of the iceberg. And I'm so jazzed up. I'm so psyched up coming off of the 2 trading competition wins there. The Champions Cup and Top of the Top duels. It was powerful, and I stuck to the rules, and that helped me win. I traded against people who are trading high volume equities, trading Bitcoin, trading futures, of course, all this wonderful stuff. And I was able to come out on top because I had your guys' support and my family's support. My little people were sitting there and making sure I had to be the best I could be for them. My son, here's a great photo of my son watching the competition there. That was one of the days. And then my lovely daughter watching as well. And so it's just great having the family affair as we were doing that. So I wanted to do it right for them, even though I was frustrated. Other people were trading around me. getting trades on the board, doing a great job. The competition was fierce, but I had to stick to my rules and trade at the right time for the right reason. So I couldn't trade through the news releases. I had to go ahead and we have to declare all the trades. And so, like one of my trades, I got into the trade and I was trying to immediately declare it, but I wanted to explain the whole trade. Well, while I was doing that, thing shot up and would have left me a really great profit, but then by the time it was done, it came back down. So it's like, okay, well, that was frustrating, but I didn't let it get to me. I said, I'm just going to get back in there and look for the next opportunity. And so I want to go ahead and prepare you guys, for those kinds of opportunities. So make sure you sign up for the summit at that wealth365.com/BBT for the next big summit coming up. And also stay tuned for emails here for special training classes I'm going to do in the weeks to come here for you, because I'm all hyped up and jazzed up coming off the competition wins and ready to do what I did with real live money last week, and focus on this with you guys. Okay, so. But sticking to the rules in the choppy markets, that's a real important piece of this, because what you have to do is, if you don't stick to the rules, just think about how many of you have had, by not sticking to the rules, blown up your real money accounts. How many of you have blown up evaluation or performance accounts, right? If you prop trade, it's not just the money you make, it's the money you keep, and that's the difference between keeping your real money account, your performance accounts, your evaluation accounts. And again, I was frustrated. I understand. I understand what it's like. Can you imagine? There's no more pressure than sitting there with a huge room full of people that have come to see you from all over, the world to watch these competitions, and I want to be the best I can be, right? I got my family there. I want to do the best I can by my family. So I understand pressure, but you got to stick to the rules. And so we're going to focus on those in the upcoming training events, right? And so, what that allowed me to do, was I stuck to it. I had my scanners to go ahead and help me find the trades inside of WealthCharts. I went ahead and looked for the best opportunities there. There's actually my son right there. You couldn't see him behind the one guy in the one photo there, but he was right up front. And but here was my little setup here, and I was just doing my thing, and that allowed me to win these awards, both days. So I want to train you guys in the coming weeks to go ahead and focus on these volatile moves, trending moves, and everything in between. So stay tuned, for more information on that. Also, as we're looking at the market, so again, going into late last week, what we were faced with was a nice trend up on the hour, or the daily, but some pressure in the short term on Thursday, Friday, that was kind of keeping us at bay. And at the time, as I showed you from the previous shot, the hourly was down. But now, so going into today, what I was looking for here was the market to start to break out of that band, and it did it very nicely here, in particular early this morning, and that led to the multi-hour run that we saw, which is phenomenal, right? So everything kind of did what it was supposed to. ITP tools going ahead and firing off, wonderful strategies. TRP, all where they needed to be at the time here. Lots of great, Champion Trend Pack had the resumption trade coming out of it. Just all these wonderful things. That's what led to this beautiful move, today. Well, that's wonderful. That's great. But where do we go from here? Well, so where we go from here now is this area right here. This is what's so important. This 21,500, 21,550 area, very important, really all the way through 21,600, if you will. This area, it's great that we, got some energy to come from down here, the other day, back up here, so we used up some energy to get here. All right, well, so now I need to see, can we follow through and push through here at this point? This is, clearly a multi-area day area of resistance. Look at all the opens, high, lows, closes that kind of came through that specific area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That's powerful. And so we need to go ahead and get ourselves through that area. So I'm going to be watching it real closely to see if then we can have some more big, beautiful runs just like today. Okay, so that's going to be a key area here. And as always, watch out. We hate to see those where it just pops up through real quick and then comes right back down through. I've pointed those out to you in the past. You recall earlier this year, I kept warning you about key resistance levels that we then ultimately failed and led to the big market pullbacks. So think about this in kind of those same terms. That area right there is going to be a very key area as we're looking at this. Okay, and we'll talk more about some of the other indices in the days to come, but this was, one of my favorites, and I was happy to go ahead and, be trading it in the previous days here. So that's kind of a key area. Watch that area going into tomorrow. In general, I'd like to see, long side trades. We're up on the hourly charts right now. We're above the speed lines on the daily, above this 1,200 area, but I recognize major resistance above. So in general, I'll still try to play the long side, there wherever possible, until we start, kind of pushing back down below the 21,200. But I'll be watching some of the short-term time frames for long side trades, just as I did with the trading competitions last week, which again we'll talk more about later. So those are a couple of the key things that I just wanted to hit you with today and let you know what's coming. We got some great training classes we're going to be doing to help you with this for trading these volatile times and these volatile situations when things are going up and down and up and down and up. What do you do with that, right? Then they're coming right back down again. How do you go ahead and trade this? What do you look for? What needs to fire off to go ahead and get those trades? Because these are still, even on a 1-minute chart, these are big moves in very short amounts of time, right? 20,850 here in 5 minutes or so, going up to 20,950. So that's 1,000 points there, and that adds up, or 100 points, excuse me, I'm sorry, 100 points, and that adds up very quickly, as you can imagine. It's a couple $1,000 contract. So how do we take advantage of those in the midst of the volatility? Okay, that's an important piece. And then on the bigger piece, don't forget what we're looking for these more sustained runs like we had today. Now what we were looking for, and then now what we're looking for going into the next few days around this 21,600 area. And again, I'll show some of the other markets and indices, but this is already a long video. I was doing a lot of showing, a lot of talking, a lot of training right there live while I was doing the trading competition, sharing with my competitors, the strategies that we were using. But despite all of that, we were able to go ahead and win these wonderful awards. Again, I'm so proud to go ahead and represent the United States taking home those awards here, and also to help our friends in Europe go ahead and be better traders. So with that, you guys have a wonderful night, and I will look forward to seeing you in the videos in the next couple of days. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.